First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. I know I always say it, but I do appreciate you joining us, whether you're watching on our apps, our website, or our social media channels, whether you're watching live or afterward. Thanks for being here. We get to have a lot of great discussions here on this show, covering either breaking news or the deeper dives on stories that you see on the news, or we get to explore really great things that happen around the city, including iconic places like Movie Madness. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, of the history of Movie Madness, the amazing store in Southeast Portland, the location right there that's been there for, well, we're going to find out. We're going to talk about the history of it. Also home to amazing movie memorabilia and still the bastions of DVD, VHS rentals. We have joining us right now the managing director. We have the one and only Matt Parnell. Matt, thank you for being here with us today.
Sure, my
really,
pleasure.
yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. You know, I reached out because we were talking here at the station about it. We're like, really want to have Movie Madness on, and so we were able to make it happen. And Matt, thanks for being here. So, you know, I think to start off, could you tell us just a little bit about your role and maybe the history of Movie Madness in general?
Sure. I'm the managing director and the head curator for Movie Madness. So I manage the store over there. We're a program of the Hollywood Theater. We've been a program of the Hollywood Theater since January of 2018, but we've been in City of Portland as Movie Madness since 1991. So we've been around for over 30 years, but we're now part of the nonprofit Hollywood, which is fantastic. It's been a fantastic partnership working with them as one of their programs. And yeah, we've been there since 1991. We've been growing. The building keeps getting larger and larger. We now house over 90,000 titles, which is more than all the top streaming services combined. And we also are an open museum that's free to the public to see original props and costumes that props and costumes, excuse me, that were used on film for various movies, going back to a year from Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times all the way up to more modern stuff like Michelle Yeoh's costume from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow, so really modern then, all the way up to that. And I definitely want to go talk about a lot of that memorabilia. But going back to one thing you just mentioned, so 90,000 titles, more than all the streaming services combined. So that's a huge statement right there. And talking about streaming services, another thing that we were discussing here is just, the prices of streaming services just keep going up. I mean, this isn't like breaking news. We all know this. Anybody who has a subscription to any streaming service, they keep going up. And I want to ask, juxtaposing that with what you have going with all of these titles and these rentals, how do you think that's playing in for, I guess, business-wise and just the actual physical media world itself?
Well, I think people are really starting to appreciate the content because there really is. I mean, streaming it's nice, it's convenient, it's right there, but it's very controlled as far as what's available to you. And it's surprising to know like how few titles are actually available on some of these platforms because it seems like a lot, but it's not. I mean, Netflix has barely 7,000 movies in the United States, and Disney Plus has just over 500 films. Amazon has a lot, 26,000, but still we're over 90,000, and our collection is there to stay. Physical media, the rights aren't gonna expire. It's not gonna disappear from our platform. We add content to our library every single week, never slowing down. Once something's added to the store, you can rest assured it'll be there forever. We have everything from the latest new releases and television shows going all the way back to the earliest silent films and everything in between. An enormous foreign section. It's just we really pride ourselves on being a film archive and having availability for film lovers and people that are just looking for. I mean, it's crazy to know that like if you go to watch a movie on Netflix, for example, they only have about 84 movies right now that are from the entire decade of the 90s, half of that from the 80s. So, if you want to see any of cinematic history and not just something that came out in the last, year and a half or whatever, it's really, there's not a lot of option out there. And I think that's what people really appreciate about Movie Madness is they know that if it's ever been in print, even things that are long out of print, like we have those titles for people to come and enjoy.
Which is amazing, and just even what you were mentioning right there, that there's only 84 movies from the 90s on Netflix. I mean, and just that you said there's only 7,000, it does seem like there's so many, but the more I think about it, I end up watching the same things over and over. And if I go to find something, half the time you can't find it on a service. So having something like this, so 90,000 titles, and you're constantly adding to it, how do you have the space to keep track of all of that? That's got to be a monumental task just on its own.
It is. So the building started off when it opened up, when the founder Mike Clark opened it in 1991. It was just like 600 square feet. Now we're over 5,000 square feet. So, but it is always an issue. We're always running out of room. In 2019, we built what we affectionately call our Miniplex, which is a host of free screenings on Sundays. It's a host private rentals all the time. There's Movie Madness University classes that are happening there almost every day of the week. That was a space that we had to make room. We had about 8,000, or maybe it was 18,000, I think, that we had to consolidate from our special interest / documentary section. So we basically put them into like little sleeves and put them into drawers, kind of record store style, so we could fit even more into a smaller space. So even though the building has grown in terms of like the brick and mortar portion of it itself, we're still always looking for new ways to fit more stuff in there. The place is huge, but again, we're always adding more and more constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's just going exploring if you go in there, and so many titles that whether you've never heard of or different things to find out about. I mean, and along those lines, what are some of the more obscure ones that you have that are really rare?
Well, some of the rare titles are not necessarily obscure films so much, but just things that have gone out of print that are extremely expensive now. Like I think one of our most expensive titles is The Third Man on Criterion, which is a famous film. It's not like rare or anything, but the title itself, it's hard to find on physical media. It's very out of print. But we have a lot of stuff in the bizarre area, things that have, just strange things that have never really formally had proper releases, that we can we'll locate collectors online that maybe have a copy of something, and we'll make trades or whatnot to just help broaden our inventory. So it's not just everything on there is UPC from Amazon or whatever. There's a lot of really rare things that we've collected from filmmakers themselves as well. Another thing that I think that we're really proud of is just the human algorithm. I mean, people come into the store. We've got incredibly knowledgeable staff to help people find things. We try to organize the store in a way to help discovery be more fun. We have beer and wine sales. So you can enjoy a beer while you're walking around the store. Some people spend 45 minutes, an hour there just looking at movies and meeting new people and chatting about stuff. But yeah, we try to organize things by director, by actor, by genre. We don't just have a horror section. We have a horror section with subsections. So all of our ghost movies are in one area. All of our dysfunctional family movies and cannibal movies and all those weird things are in their own areas. So if you come in looking for one particular title, chances are you're going to find other stuff you might like that's right next to it. It's really designed to help people discover that they're maybe more of a cinephile than they realized.
Well, and I think that definitely takes a very knowledgeable staff to be able to do that too. That's
For
watched
sure.
a lot of movies.
Yes. Yeah. No, we're very blessed with an incredible staff. I mean, we've had so many people help build the collection over the years too. The staff doesn't just work there and isn't just knowledgeable about films, but they're also kind of key and instrumental in throughout the history of the store in helping locate hard to find films.
So adding to that, I'm still going back to just adding to this collection. What's the most common way that you do? Is it somebody on staff is like, hey, this is something that we should get, we should acquire this? Do people bring in DVDs? Do they bring in their own movies they've created and ask you to put it onto their shelves? How does that all work?
Absolutely. All of the above. We have a local filmmaker section, so we have, and those films are free to rent. Just local filmmakers that want to have their movie out there for people to see, we support that. So we've had that section in place for a long time. We do get an awful lot of donations too. Oftentimes, a lot of our donations are kind of overstocked for us, but it really does help support the organization overall when we can do like a big sale for overstock and whatnot. By and large, we go through a lot of different, we have one major distributor that we purchase probably 90% of our titles through like mainstream stuff, and that's Alliance Entertainment. But we also work with a lot of smaller boutique distributors. We've got good relationships with the folks over at Arrow Video and Vinegar Syndrome. There's a lot of these really physical media has kind of popped up now, where there used to be a handful of boutique labels like Kino Lorber or Criterion Films. And now there's like a lot more fun ones that are coming out that are doing some like lost hidden gems. I call them hidden gems. Some people might call them trash. But there's like a certain charm about that too, and they're really kind of saving these things that are, like old horror films from the 80s, things shot on video, stuff like that really has never seen the light of day beyond like a film festival that it played in 15, 20, 30 years ago. And now these places are rescuing and restoring those efforts for new generations of people to enjoy. So we purchase a lot of movies from those outlets as well. And it seems that over the last few years that there's been more and more of these little boutique labels popping up doing that sort of thing. I
love that. And how have you seen, I guess, rentals go over these last couple of years? Have you seen an
rentals are great.
Decrease?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly, I mean, it's not the same as it was, in the early 2000s when video stores were everywhere. But we're doing great. We have such a strong support from our community. When the Hollywood took over, we had a successful Kickstarter campaign where we raised over $315,000 to help the Hollywood Theater purchase Movie Madness so that Mike could retire. And it's just been fantastic. We still have, on average, over 200 new signups, new customers coming in every month. So it's a growing program. The main core thing is I say it's growing because we do have a lot of new customers every month that come in, but really it's our repeat customers, the people that keep coming back, our neighborhood people that have supported us for over 30 years and continue to. It's multiple generations now. Kids have their own accounts now that used to come in and rent on their parents. So it's been really neat to see that and just to grow the community. Like now we have not just, accounts where people can sign up to rent movies, but we have membership options where people can, for a monthly pledge, they can sign up to have, rent one, get one free, or get 3 free rentals, depending on the membership level. Discounts on merch, discounts on Movie Madness University. So again, like we're just thinking of more and more ways to involve the community and give them ways to interact and to talk about film and to celebrate everything that Movie Madness has to offer.
Well, talking about the community side of things, do you think there's something unique about the community in Portland and the area that helps a place like Movie Madness continue going?
For sure. I think that the location on Southeast Belmont in 1991, like it really was a great location, and it's always been for us. I think Portland really helped, make Movie Madness successful for a long time. But I think I get a lot of emails now from new upstart video stores from all over the country. People like, I'm starting a video store. There's like, I want to know, like, what do you use for your software? Where do you get your titles? This and that. It seems like there's like this new interest in physical media, and it seems like a lot of people that come in, our customers also use streaming. It's not like an either or, but we do feel like we provide something special that streaming can't offer, and people really do come in for that. And I think people are getting hungrier for that as the streaming options become more expensive and become more limited. That when it's really just take a step inside the store and see. It's a lot of movies. It sounds like a lot, but it looks like even more when you're there. And I mean, I challenge you to look for a movie that we don't have, and if we don't have it, it's my job to track it down and find it. So I'll get it.
Well, that's got to be fun in its own right.
Sure.
What's the most challenging one you've ever had to find?
Oh man, so I can't remember the title right now. It's actually my coworker who's been there for even longer than myself. He runs our collections department right now, but he also he's really an expert on classic film and foreign cinema. And he recently tracked down I'm trying to think now. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember.
I put you on the spot.
One director that we're missing the title for, and he just found that title, and he's been looking for it for probably 25 years. So now we have that completed. I want to say it's a Bergman title, but I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure that our Bergman section is now complete. That after locating the one missing copy.
Nice. Well, congratulations on
Thank you.
I'm going to make that happen. You mentioned at the beginning memorabilia, and I just want to talk about that really quick. I'll turn down the sound on there, but this is some footage that we have from a while ago, but just showing all of the different things that you have in there. It's so much that you have. What are some of the highlights of that?
Well, for me, the big highlight right now is the Michelle Yeoh costume, just because it's brand new, and it's really cool. And it was from our most popular rented title. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once was our nonstop #1 rented title for a year and a half before it finally started to cool off. And of course, it swept the awards ceremony and everything. It's just really cool to have something that, to me, such an important film and an important actress. War to include that as part of our history. But other ones that are very popular, I mean, we have the knife from Psycho. We have Peter Boyle's outfit. I can just see right there in the corner to the side of Diane Keaton's outfit from Young Frankenstein. That's a popular one. We have an alien xenomorph head. There we go, from James Cameron's Aliens. That's always a popular thing for people to come check out. Barf Club from Fight Club was a promotional piece. I'm trying to think. The Untouchables buggy. Right now we're looking at Julianne Moore's outfit from Magnolia, Jessica Lange's from Blue Sky. Yeah, we've got a chair from Casablanca. The Ingrid Bergman sat in. There's the Psycho knife. Yeah, we have the bust of Marvin from Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino, when he was in town, to promote his book at the Hollywood for a couple days. He did a private tour of Movie Madness. Got to see Marvin from Pulp Fiction. Yeah, so yeah, we have over 80 props and costumes all put together. They still all belong to the former owner and founder of Movie Madness, Mike Clark. He's agreed to leave them on display for the community to enjoy. But we're looking to add more costumes and props as we can make space for them.
Well, it really is a treasure to go in there. The fact that it's going so strong and 90,000 titles and all this memorabilia, it's an experience. And Matt, I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. Just share some of this and share some of your knowledge and history of it and some of the things that you've searched for, in trying to find these random rare ones that nobody else has. And I think you said it was years and years for the one, but you found it. So for everybody out there too, can you let them know, where to go, how they can,
Sure.
support and become a member?
Of course, yeah. We're on the web at moviemadness.org. You can also please come visit us. We're at Southeast 44th in Belmont, right on the corner there. You can't miss it. It's got a cool little neon marquee up top and a big neon M in the window. Yeah, you can support us online. The Hollywood Theater. You don't have to be a member. There's plenty of giving programs, but we of course encourage you to become a member. Come on in, check things out. I think that I hear it constantly all the time where people bring their friends in. They've been like, I've been by this place so many times, I've never actually gone inside, and I had no idea how big it was. So it really is worth checking out to come in, and I guarantee that if you like movies even a little bit, you're going to be coming back pretty often.
100% agree. Well, Matt, thank you very much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, this is a great conversation.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. Take care.
You bet. You too. All right. So again, that's part of what we get to do here on Fox 12 Now. So we cover everything, but finding out more about places like Movie Madness, just it really is an experience. If you've never been in there, this is just personally, I would recommend checking it out because it can be overwhelming. There's so many movies, but not in a bad way. It's just a lot of fun, but also a great place to bring people if you're ever wondering like, hey, I've got somebody visiting from out of town. Where should I take them? That's always an option. So again, we've got more coming up here. So we're continuing on with the show. We start at 1 p.m. every day. And coming up at 2 p.m., we're going to be talking to a Rhodes Scholar, a brand new Rhodes Scholar from the University of Oregon, the first one that U of O has had in 15 years, and I believe the only one in the Pac-12 this year. So she's going to be joining us to talk about that. It's a really huge, huge honor to get that, and she's going to share what that's all about. So that's at 2 p.m. So if you're watching on social media, we'll log off. We'll come back on then at 2. If you're watching on the web or the apps, that's a great place to watch because we will continue on the show. We've got a little bit here in between then, so stick around there. Otherwise, I will talk to you in mere moments. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.